How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I've got quite a few missions done again. The main one really was restoring the port overall. I just left this bit in quickly because I was building a road down here and you could see how lumpy it was. I actually had a pretty decent success with moving the roller back and forth over it. It's not 100%, but it was a damn sight smoother than it was. Yeah, so for a first mission, bring urgent help to Tiffle Town. You basically got to build 2 roads. That one to there, and then that one across there. In the end, I end up like, obviously I do the 2 missions, but I build an entire road. It's definitely worth unlocking that sand quarry. It costs 10 fuel, which is pretty pricey, but you do get 10 back for doing this mission. Yeah, but more importantly, it covers the radius of these 2 roads, which I imagine it'd be awkward without. Just for testing purposes, for science, I kind of like laid sand, flattened some of it, paved some of it, and then rolled a little bit of it. So I ended up with like green, blue, yellow, red. I was just curious because before I even did these missions, I nearly paved this road the other day, and I was just wondering like what would it actually do if I paved a lot of it. Chances are it would just complete the mission, but I just was curious, so yeah, I kind of just did a little bit at the start to test it out. But basically, like, the dumper just drives over everything and starts dumping sand where there is none. The dozer just carries on as normal because it's flattening everything anyway. The paver, I think, starts paving at the beginning, but obviously various sections are already paved. And then, yeah, the roller just carries on, so there wasn't really anything too crazy, but I thought I'd test it out. In the end, the roller started swerving everywhere. This newer roller is not too good for that. And then for some weird reason, I think it's because like there's a bit of a sand dune in the way, this bicycle thing started swerving all over the place. One thing I do like though, whoever programmed this or whatever, even though it's swerving off like an idiot, it still lays a nice, perfectly neat line, sort of evenly and all the rest of it. Which I kind of figured out back on Deluge when I was doing that rail road, like the road you lay along the rail tracks. The bicycle did a similar thing, but I nearly deleted it, and then it ended up like it just lays a nice neat line, unlike, again, 2 out of 2, nice straight road as well. The roller just starts swerving around. As someone did say, and I'm with them on it, definitely, because it does it pretty much every time, the older roller is better to use for the AI missions, because they don't do that. Yeah, so it wants an AI route coming out there. It gets a bit busy, like, they certainly have a lot of choke points with AI routes on this game, and I don't really know why, because there's plenty of room. I don't mind 1 or 2, but yeah, there's a few sections that get pretty jammed up. There's one a little bit later. But overall though, I paved the entire road, so it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. The first one it sends as mule, and then it's 3 Vorons. So to be fair, even if you don't pave the entire road, they'd probably have a pretty decent chance of making it. But yeah, like I said, you get 10 fuel back, so at least that's something. Kelly doesn't pop up for that one. You unlock, now you got to move like a little van kind of down these, a bit of an odd place to spawn really, but yeah, kind of just not too far away. I cut most of this out because it's a little bit boring, to be honest. All you sort of need to know is it never actually fully got stuck, but it got very close to getting stuck quite a few times because it's not very good really at off-roading. Little bits like this sand dune coming up. As you can see there, it sort of like digging in and just goes half a mile an hour. Pretty standard issue. Just imagine you driving the mule. One thing I did notice though, oh, Kelly pops up. That's the first thing. See this bit of sand I'm driving over? That was a sand dune, but it's flattened out, and just by chance, when I was driving everything to that Tiffle Town thing, I drove the steamroller kind of over this and flattened it out. I think that, not necessarily saying it's like worth it, I don't know, maybe you might find the odd route. Yeah, I just figured it literally made a difference. It stopped the van getting stuck in a sand dune because I rolled over it with a steamroller. I always call it a steamroller, probably not steam powered these days, but I'm sticking with it. Yeah, next thing, I've got to go and find out what happened at the solar station. So I've got to visit the area. Worst case, I was thinking I'll go round, but I was kind of hoping there'd be a route up here, because I could see that blue thing. I think you can sell them for about 2.5 grand. I could see that had kind of slid down the cliff, so I was sort of hoping there'd be a little bit of a gap through the rocks up, well, cliff, steep hill, bit of both. Yeah, which again, this Lynx is pretty good for. Just it's very nice at climbing and all that sort of stuff. Again, it's not the quickest, but once you're on rough terrain like that. I don't get it with Kelly, like, back on Sojourn with the concrete slabs facility, that thing looked like it had been hit by a dinosaur-ending meteorite crater-sized hole in the middle of it, and she was like, whew, the concrete slabs facility got away unscathed. This place, like, what, there's a broken solar panel and a cone that's fell over, and she's like, oh my god, looks like a, was it a porcelain shop full of elephants or something. But anyway, once you go there, for some reason there's a lot of, like, reach this location bits to this mission, really. So you get there, then it says reach these next 2 locations. Thankfully those gates open the opposite way. It wouldn't really matter, I suppose. I've got a winch on this thing. Yeah, just kind of going around inspecting the solar panel thing. I only left this next bit in one to just kind of show you the route I was taking, although it's fairly easy to sort of figure out. But I was kind of saying to myself, oh, one thing I like about the Lynx is it'll drive over rocks like this. And then it's obviously got such a sharp angle, it's kind of bouncing my wheel back. And then at that point it was like, no, now it's stubbornness. I could go around it. But yeah, it was a good example of one thing I like about this vehicle, because it steers the axles, not the wheels. You can almost effectively shorten the wheelbase on one side. And that's just about, it was a pretty good example of, like, that basically got me out of that, because I could make the, both right tyres kind of get closer to each other. It nipped itself up that awkward rock. Yeah, objective complete. Find out what happened at the solar station. Kelly's back.
Okay. I think this place could still be somewhat useful, at least if we find a whole bunch of spare inverters somewhere. A quick search shows there's a shipment of the things sitting at your friendly port next door. Nice, right?
Why would you use the terminology friendly port next door? Telling you, it's friendly girl next door stuff. That's like me saying to a girl, do you want to, if you wanted to share a piece of cake, do you want to go doggy style on this cake? And then being like, what? No, I wasn't hinting at anything. That's a perfectly normal way to offer to share cake with someone. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so something about friendly ports next door. Next one I've got to do is, again, search 3 locations. There's like a bit of a ramped sort of set up in a way that you can drive over it. It's a bit awkward driving through it.
When we don't know if something is okay or not, it always turns out smashed to pieces. Ah, well, not like I'm surprised.
Yeah, along here there's like a little concrete slab, a few pipes, then you drive along the roof of these things. Yeah, in a minute I'm going to have to clear like a load of sections out of this port, but when I originally drove over here the other week, I suppose, or whatever, uncovering clouds and all that, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one to weave through without moving all this. I cut ahead now just because you can see how little it moved that cargo container. I'm basically just on the other side of the cargo container. It just took faffing around, ramming them and making them move like an inch each time. Yeah, there's a ramp here, but I don't really like that sand dune sort of wrecks it, but I just about managed to hit it. And then keep it floored, because what I did when I was searching the clouds the other day, pretty much the same thing, but I didn't hold the accelerator down, so I ended up tipping on my roof. But if I'd kept the accelerator going, even though I'm about to tip over, my front wheels still touch the floor first, and then obviously that kind of pulls your front end back round, and then, yeah, in this case I got back to my wheels. There probably is a more sane, less risky way. I was willing to chance it. At this point my frame rate took a nosedive, so I'll let Kelly finish.
What's next on your menu? Your favorite. Cleaning up the mess. Yeah, you heard me right. You need to sweep the port to make it usable again. Take a
happy.
bulldozer or a mobile crane and get those damaged containers and scattered pipes out of the way.
It's funny though, because I just thought cranes were like the official way of cleaning areas. She actually said there, like, use a bulldozer or a crane, which I used a bulldozer the other day in the concrete slabs facility. Yeah, I think they work out pretty nice. So there's 3 big sections in this port you got to clear. Quite a lot of stuff to get out of the way, which again, why it's just for me personally a bit repetitive going in and out of the bloody crane menu, because I've got to hold down buttons. So first zone clear. Second zone, again, this puts in like a respectable effort. I'm pushing 3 cargo containers and then now a pipe as well. I think at some point possibly even 2 pipes really. It's struggling. It's not helping that I just happen to be driving up this sand dune at the minute, so it's kind of making my dozer angle all funny really. It's better in marching mode, but because that sits the bucket up slightly higher, some things like the pipes, it starts to roll over them. Sometimes you need to go into like sand flattening mode just to keep the blade or whatever it's called low enough. But yeah, long story short, got that one done. There's not really anywhere with some of them to put the stuff. You just shove it out of the way. I don't know, I wouldn't really consider it any more out of the way really. And then the third one, just to throw it out there, you see like the big yellow crane on the right hand side, that's got rails that it runs along, and everything bloody catches on the rails, which make clearing the third area a little bit more of a pain in the arse. It was still doable, I just kept kind of ramming into them until it eventually bumped up and over the crane rail things running along the concrete. But yeah, it just makes it a little bit more of a pain in the arse. So worst case, either bring a crane for that one, or I don't know, a loaf, something that you can fire a winch out to, but it's actually got a bit of pulling power.
I'm sorry to pile more onto your
He's
plate
back.
since you cleaned the place up so nicely, but well, we really need the port
I
up
was just
and running at
having a
full
fight with this
capacity.
cargo container.
So there's more stuff to do, namely bring some
At this point, I was like, right, you're going in the water. Well, the other one already has on the left. And then that boat in the background just so happens to start floating for no apparent reason. It had about 10 seconds of extra boating life. And I'm about to ram a container onto it. Yeah, job's a good one. Take my my zone cleaning seriously. Third zone done. Next mission, restore the port infrastructure. So there was an object there at the river base that I've got to bring to there. There's also two pipes it wants fixing. It's always a bit confusing because when you click on it, it sometimes jumps to the right to the other end of the pipe section, but it's those two bits there in the actual port. And then the third one is connect up the electricity, which thankfully is a pretty short distance. So this was like I fixed that pylon yesterday, and that's what juices that up, makes it like a blue circle. It might make you do that mission before you get to this, but nonetheless, if you haven't, I certainly would recommend it. Otherwise, God knows where I'll be bringing the power from. Yeah, so two pipes and a box. That was a good porno. Oh yeah, this frame rate, for some reason, it started biting me quite a lot towards the end. I was going around here, frame rate, got a fat drift on. But steering it, I was like, oh shit, now I don't know how much steering input it's listening to. So just quickly quit and reloaded. I'm now at the port.
I always thought our company was a mess, but this port authority is just out of this world. You know why they've been sitting around with no power all this time? They lost their backup generator. You know where? Drum roll, please. On their own premises.
Kelly's not happy with the
Now you only
don't know,
need to
port
find and
authority.
install it. After that, I suggest you hightail it before you catch their incompetence.
Not happy. Yeah. Throw this down here. Also, I've noticed recently, I think since the hotfix post 2.0 update, it sometimes keeps saying route failed, even though I haven't got any, or it's more like one had failed and I fixed it, but it just still says route failed for a while. Eventually it goes away, but up until then it used to be pretty damn accurate. Like, if it says failed, one has failed, and then it'd go the second you fix them all. But yeah, whatever. See, now it's gone, and I haven't done anything. I was just still getting this footage. Yeah, missed it the first time, but as it rolled down the hill and I caught it again with the crane, kind of lifting it up, it got close enough and it went in. That's what she said. Yeah, both of them done. And then for this bit, I leave this little beginning bit in. It starts going fine cutting a line. For some reason now it starts lifting it, which is fair enough, but essentially just a bit of back and forth reversing. Eventually it drops it back down. I get enough of the blue section. It's letting me cut across the road because it's kind of a sandy section. So I don't know why it was moaning so much about like I don't know, a piece of grass. It wasn't letting me cut through really. But yeah, it's kind of obvious the route you should go really, unless you want to try and follow the road, but yeah, I'll just cut through the little forest.
You're our best driver, but even your vehicles get a little wear and tear. So could you deliver a shipment of parts
Best
from
driver.
the river base? Should be a great help, especially for those less careful than you. Which is everyone.
She not seen me drive.
I guess we won't be getting out of
Crashed
the money
everything I've ever
business
driven.
anytime soon. I got this new task for you, and it smells just a bit. The port's oil
I thought
terminal.
you were going to sit on my face. No,
Believe it or not,
fix the sewage system. I
I
don't do this mission tonight, but there's some valves you got to grab and swap them out. Ends up one of them's near where my links, when I got to the port and the footage started cutting out. the mission I did, find up the backup generator, and I can't even remember what, oh there, connect it to the chain hoist, that was it. Oh, so maybe that's what it calls them giant cranes then. I assume it's them that it's kind of unlocking. Yeah, so you had to bring, I brought the links because it was already near the area to kind of scan the area and find it. Made this corner nicely. A few fences took a hit, but as long as I didn't have to do a 3-point turn, I was pretty happy. Yeah, I mean, I had to ram that cargo container a bit harder. The links, bless it, must be pretty damn light, because even when you go flat out into one, it moves it, yeah. An inch or two, not a lot really. I could technically have gone round at this point, because I have actually cleared all the 3 sort of zones out, but I quite like this little route. I was so tempted to kind of like try and skateboard grind down that pipe, whatever it's called, but yeah, I was like, I won't, because I just know it'll bite me. And speaking of biting me, I ended up somehow, like David Copperfield, I made a ferry disappear. So when you complete that and throw that generator in that, ferry, rather big one, turns up. What does it say? Tow bar limit, something, unless scissors disconnected, I think it said. That's a huge achievement under your belt. That's not the only huge thing under my belt, Kelly. Play your cards right.
Seems to me they picked up a thing or two about competence from you. They already offloaded a shipment of replacement solar
He speaks
panels
about me
and
being
other
competent.
spare parts for the solar station. Now he
30
needs to
seconds
plan a route
later,
to forward the containers to the river base for processing.
I might have
Show them how it's done.
sank the ferry.
Again.
Show him how it's done. Show him how to kill it. So, I'd already drawn a bridge line, and I was like, oh, it's kind of drove through my bridge line. So, in my infinite wisdom, I thought, I know, I'll quit and reload the game, hoping it would load before the ferry turned up, and I was going to build the bridge and see if the ferry would crash into the bridge, for no apparent reason. When I quit and reloaded, it reloaded just as I'd completed the mission, but the ferry's missing. After a little bit of testing around, long story short, she's a goner, for me anyway. So then it wants me to draw an AI route from the port to my river base, which wasn't too crazy. All the zones I just cleared out. I still had to go the correct way, the British way around the roundabout. And yeah, and now, as you can see, long story short, the vehicles are floating because they think they're being delivered off the ferry, which I somehow made disappear. Just jumped in this to move it out of the way, really, but you can see, yeah, they're spawning like on the water, just hovering. So just imagine a big ferry there. That's what I'll tell the boss. And then, yeah, for a start, I was like, oh, 2 Azovs. I was like, oh my god, and a bloody semi-truck. I just had a feeling this was not going to go well, even though it should in theory. So they got stuck at one point, and I was thinking, like, what are they actually getting stuck on? So I was watching it now when, like, the 2 Azovs are spawned, and this spawn starts flopping around, and it was like, oh well, this is not good. And in fairness, I don't think it's because I made the ferry disappear, because they're technically off the ferry. It just seems to be this section of port. So that one's got its rear wheel stuck in, that one gets launched sideways and smashes into a load of boxes and sits upside down. I was like, well, that's not good. So I kept respawning them. I had this here. The reason why, I was hoping to kind of sit this where the semi-trucks spawn so they stay yellow, is the best way to explain it, and then I might be able to push them out the ground before they stop being like a yellow ghost and become solid. So there's the 2 Azovs waiting for semi-truck, and yeah, it seems to be its rear wheels. It flops it around all over the place. This time it actually managed to wiggle its way out. I was thinking, oh, there is hope. It's the second one though that seems to be usually the more violent of the 2. That goes flying off that way, and it tips on its side. I did try tipping it, but it wasn't working, so I thought, right, I'll bring the goddamn horse and fire a winch out if it tips to its side. I also put the mule and a large pipe in the way to try and catch it from, because it flew off the port every now and then. This time it decided to wiggle out and jump that way. So I thought, cool, no problem. I'll stick a winch to it, flip it over, and she's good to go. And it was like, ah, shit, you can't have winches to the bloody AI vehicles, which I think is just not good anyway. they should, just in case. See, things like this might happen, and it's not even my fault. I'm not taking the blame just because I killed a ferry. Yeah, there's a good example of like the mule and that. It stays as a yellow ghost, so it just phases through the mule, so it didn't really work to catch it. Goddamn horse pushes that trailer out. And I was just trying to get lucky. I kept resetting it because at least one kept failing, but it was like eventually both trucks. Again, this one was rarer. It normally flew around all over the place, but every now and then it did land on its wheels, but normally it was the first bloody semi was tipped at that point. And as you can see now, it's just annoying because they won't grip on anything, so I'll just keep pushing it around, skidding it, like, obviously I edited plenty of this out. I was doing this for quite a while. Just out of stubbornness. And the thing I'd already realised is, like, you know how you draw the lines, and because the mission's not complete yet, it has, like, green lines when you complete a certain amount. They should actually be spawning ahead of here, because I have some green sections going ahead of me. Loaf, out of it, if anyone was going to do it, was the goddamn horse. I managed to get it tipped, because I was pushing it towards them crane rails on the ground. Got it tipped, it started going back, thought, no, caught it in time with the loaf, and then it bloody took it away from me. Like, god damn it. That was a good effort. Yeah, there's an example of, like, it throws the second semi-truck usually off the port. Don't know why that one's more violent. And then, yeah, eventually after pushing them around for long enough, they just started spawning further along the port, and then they were fine. So, I kind of, I don't know, I'll consider it a win since I stubbornly hacked it.
The power station are all unpacked and ready to be installed. Our guys sure know how to do their job. Unlike one port authority we both know. Now,
Kelly's really not happy with the port authority.
Carrying parts from the river base to the solar station. Just make sure all the new inverters and panels get there. The terrain is rough. And I'd hate to explain why we need more replacements if any get broken.
Yeah, so that's that one done. That Azov you can see is, you know, just as the mission ticks along. So I have sank the boat, but thankfully it's still working. Started paving this bloody road. The AI, why are they always so eager when they're trying to, like, I'm trying to ram it and block it, but also trying to make sure I get my edges nice. So eventually he started slipping past. Yeah, he did me. What can I say? Robin's racing. He knew. Yeah, I just built this road, kind of heading down to the port, really. Just look, like, the amount of traffic that has to run along that road, it just made more sense. And then, like, I'm collecting some trees. There's a mission later on. I've not done it tonight, but you need 10 logs, so I started chopping some of them. I'm at 58%, and yeah, going pretty quick. That's about it for today, though. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf, and I'll be back soon.